Hey there, I wanted to take a quick opportunity to show you the new PTO Shaft Guard I'm putting onto my New Holland 320 baler. It basically never had one since I've owned it, so it definitely a safety hazard, and figured it was a worthwhile upgrade. And plus, I'm hoping that I can rig it up to where the PTO shaft isn't always slipping apart when I have it unhooked, because the shaft basically comes out of the sleeve, or however it's called. And so I'm hoping the PTO shaft guard will give me something to hold the two pieces together when it's unhooked. So I'll show you what I'm looking at here, and we'll take a look at the new shaft guard. So here's the PTO shaft I'm talking about. You can see it's the old New Holland 320. I'm in the middle of doing some maintenance and different things. That's why all the shields are open at the moment, but we'll focus on this for right now. As you can see, there's no PTO shaft no guard on this PTO shaft here, but there is one on that one back there. So this is the one I'll be working on. I got a PTO shaft cover from my local Massey Ferguson dealer, I guess, who sells Baler brand PTO shaft cover that are supposed to be pretty universal. So we'll go take a look at that. Alright, here's the PTO shaft guard I got. You can tell it's quite a bit longer than what I'm going to need, but I had to get the larger diameter, and this is the length that they had available. So yeah, let's see here. You can see here, like I said, it's a Baler PTO guard, universal. There's the part number, AS30130. It says it fits yoke groove diameters from 2 to 3.5 inches, and the one I have is darn close to 3 inches. I think it's 2.85 or something inches. So essentially what you have is you got these locking tabs right here that lock in, and you got these bearings that attach to the PTO shaft, and it's got this groove, and essentially you install this guy in here somehow. There it goes. And then you can see down in there, the groove goes in there, and then you close the red levers, and that locks it in there. So essentially I need to install one of these on each end of my PTO shaft, which I've already got done. And then we'll cut this thing down to length, and then we'll put it all together. So it should be pretty quick. It was a little bit of a hassle because I had to it's supposed to be universal, so it's supposed to come with whatever you need, but the pieces that it came with didn't quite work for my old PTO shaft, so I had to chuck one of these up in the lathe and basically make it the right diameter. It was just right in between sizes, and either it was the upper one was way too sloppy, or the lower one was way too tight and wouldn't install. So that's where I had to get out the old calipers and measure it up a little bit and get a couple of these things made to that 2.850 inside diameter there. So that's the deal there. So yeah, we'll take some measurements now, because we need to cut this PTO shaft, each half of it down, and then we'll get her installed. Okay, so now we're going to measure real quick. The instructions say we're supposed to measure from here, this groove where the one bearing sits, over to the other one, and then take that number and subtract, I think, 3 inches, 75 millimeters, and then we'll cut them to that length. So it's going to be pretty darn short. Looks like, I'm right at right over 10.5, maybe 10 5/8 inches. So I'll be cutting mine down to 7 5/8 inches or something like that. So we'll see how it'll work. It'll be interesting to see if I'm going to clear over here. I might have to do something about this shield here. It's a little bit bent up anyways, but do something to get it to where my shield will go in there. So it's always a chore, but I think I'll be safer and happier with the way everything's sitting once I get her done. So there we go. Alright, and there's the other one. Got her cut off pretty square, so happy with that. So now we'll go and get them installed. So I think for now I'm just going to pull this piece off here. That'll allow me to get her fit up, and then I'll probably just space it up. So oopsies. Get this in the high gear here. Make quick work of that, and then we'll get the shield installed. So let's see if we can get this guy just slipped on here. I may have to set the phone down for a minute. 1 second. There we go. Now you see this, you want this tab to be facing the yoke, this little guy right here. Now we'll install it on the other end, and we ought to be able to put it all together. So I'll probably just pause the recording for a moment. Alright, as you can see, I now got one on that end, one on that end. So we'll see if we can't get the covers slid on. Once we get them on, we'll have to drill a hole in the covers to accommodate the grease zerk there. Maybe it's better to do it before I put the cover on, and we'll see. Alright, looks like it'll work pretty good. Because I had to cut it so short for this shaft, looks like there'll be enough room there to, once I drill a hole in the other shield over there, it'll be just right for missing this shield and getting that grease zerk. Alright, looks like we want the center of our hole for the grease zerk to be about 2 1/4 or so. Sorry about that. 2 1/8 inches from the red lock collar. So we'll go ahead and punch that in there and stick her on. All right, there we go. We got this end installed. Just got to snap that collar down, and we'll slip her in and see what it looks like. Well, there you go. It's all put together. Grease zerk lines up with the hole. Probably could have made it a touch smaller, but that's the size it is. So yeah, that'll about do it for this video. I want to keep her a little safer for the operator, aka me, and yeah, that'll be pretty good. All right, thanks for watching. If you liked it, please hit the subscribe button, like, and shoot me a comment. I'd really appreciate the feedback. Have a great day. One last thing here. I wanted it to where the drive shaft doesn't slip out while I've got it unhooked. So I think I'm going to try, when I put it down like this, it kind of wants to slip down, and it's short enough that eventually it just hits the ground and then falls apart. And that's kind of irritating. So I think I'm going to try putting some wraps of electrical tape around there and see if it'll add a little bit of friction. So hopefully that'll snug it up and last all right out in the field. But I guess we'll see, and time will tell. All right, this is what I meant by putting some wraps. I'm going to put some wraps of this electrical tape close to the end there to where it really should never extend that far out. And hopefully that'll just be a little bit of a resistive force to hold the thing together, but still allow it to slide. So this is another good use for Harbor Freight electrical tape. I don't really trust it for my electrical needs, but for this sort of stuff, it's pretty handy. Well, there it is. Just like I wanted. It's sitting there how you'd unhook it, and it's not slipping down and falling apart. So that little wrap of electrical tape seemed to have done the job. It might be a little bit tighter than I want, but it, you know, I can just take a few wraps off and I think it'll be okay. So, yeah, pretty pleased with how this has turned out. All right, have a great day.